I think the really important thing to remember about the work of abolitionists and anti-patriarchal and anti-colonial activists is that this is so multifaceted. It needs to happen at so many different approaches, from within the family home to workplaces to friendship groups, all the way up into the systems that hold power and the people within those systems that hold the most power, right? Because systems don't exist without the people. So we need to remember how much of the systems people are embodying at this stage of patriarchy and colonialism, right? We aren't always going to agree, because people that are focused on ending prisons, that's their like path, right? And then there's some of us that are in the space of prevention, so that you know, the 85% of women that are incarcerated that have been victims of domestic violence, sexual violence, child SA and abuse and things like that, have a better chance from the beginning. And that requires building up the confidence, self-value, worth, and rebalancing the energies, right? And that also means having to address the other side that make our homes unsafe, that make the majority of society unsafe, right? Now, men can cry, not all men, all they want, but the reality is that the majority of the violence, harm, abuse, all of it that we have in the world right now is perpetrated by them. And if not by them, it's by non-men who seek the power that patriarchy gives to men, okay? And when we talk patriarchy, we're not just talking gender. Patriarchy is the umbrella term for all of these oppressions, okay? And so when we talk patriarchy, we're talking about ableism, we're talking about racism, we're talking about anti-blackness, we're talking about land theft, we're talking about land extraction, devaluation of the natural world, the commodification of the natural world, putting a price tag on every bit of life, the divide and conquer, the dividing people by race, the superiority of one type of peoples over others. But then within that group of people, you've got the class stuff, the disability stuff, the gender stuff. So even if someone has whiteness, they may have other intersections, right? But what the point of all of this is that we focus on the most marginalised, and the most marginalised in the world are Black and Indigenous peoples that are oppressed by not just the systems that are big and hold all that big power, but also the way that those systems have permeated into us as people and how we bring those into our relationships, okay? So abolition requires, like I said, a multifaceted approach, and some of us have the skill sets for the big systems, and some of us have the skill sets for these micro nano systems that we operate in as individuals every day, like our relationships, yeah? Um, it's not actually enough to just understand what patriarchy and colonialism are at their core. It's actually about starting to disembody that from yourself. And people that benefit from this are going to push back like a kicking mule, right? And that's okay. That's okay. It's what they've always done, okay? But we can't keep going like this, and so we all need to use our voices in the ways that we have the skill sets to. And we can all learn from each other in these spaces. All of us, because we don't all have the answers. This is why it's multifaceted, because we're picking up knowledges from each other along the way. Yeah.